There were 8 shootings in Macon over the weekend. 4 people are dead and 9 others are injured. Among those injured are a 7-year-old boy and 4 teenagers. Here's what the Bibb County Sheriff's Office has told us so far. Now let's start with the first incident. Yesterday around 3 p.m., a 55-year-old woman was shot in her car on Dewey Street in South Macon. She is in the hospital in stable condition. Yesterday around 6:30 a.m., 2 women ages 19 and 23 were injured when someone was shot them while they were driving near the intersection of Bloomfield Drive and Williamson Road when they were trying to pass another car. They have non-life-threatening injuries. And early yesterday morning around 3:30, 3 men were shot and killed near the intersection of Mosley and Cedar Avenue. They have been identified as 25-year-olds Charleston Burnett and Jordan Gardner and 26-year-old Willie Kane. They were pronounced dead on scene. Yesterday around 1:30 in the morning, a 17-year-old boy was shot when shots were fired onto a home on Holt Avenue, which is just off of Vineville. An ambulance took him to the hospital where he is in stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. And Saturday, right before midnight, a 7-year-old boy, 18-year-old, and a 24-year-old man were injured when shots were fired into a home on Key Street off of Mercer University Drive and Eisenhower Parkway. They were treated on scene before paramedics took them to the hospital. They are all listed in stable condition. And Saturday night around 7:30, a 17-year-old boy was shot while walking down North Atwood Drive off of Mercer University Drive. He was driven to the hospital and is in stable condition. Less than 30 minutes before, just 2 miles away, 35-year-old Chavis Adams was shot on Florence Avenue. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. And right after midnight on Saturday, 40-year-old David Evans was shot while breaking into his estranged wife's home on Sharon Drive near Napier Avenue. Now he has non-life-threatening injuries. He had a warrant out for property damage, and now he's facing a family violence battery charge. And as of now, no arrests have been made. BSO says they are working diligently to solve these cases. They say they do not think any of these incidents are related. In Crisp County, the Sheriff's Office hosted the Middle Georgia Traffic Enforcement Network meeting before law enforcement hit the roads to do traffic stops. Many Middle Georgia agencies participated in the operation, some of those being Dooley, Crawford, and Twiggs County Sheriff's Office, and Warner Robins, Centerville, and Montezuma Police Departments. The operation resulted in 24 tickets and 4 arrests. 1 person got arrested for DUI, and 3 people were found with drugs. The Crisp County Sheriff's Office says, quote, "We are proud of our agency and the teams for their continued dedication, professionalism, and commitment to public safety." The Sheriff's Office says there's a large pothole on Highway 96 right before the railroad tracks in Jeffersonville that caused over 10 cars to blow out their tires yesterday. They say the Department of Transportation has been notified and will be working to fix it. Be sure to use extreme caution when driving through that area and slow down when you get near those railroad tracks. And colder temperatures are back, and the Haven Hope House in Warner Robins will be open today. Anyone in need of a warm place to stay can go to the warming shelter on Green Street in Warner Robins starting at 6 p.m. A bus will head out around that time to pick up unhoused people around the city. If you or someone you know needs a warm, safe place to stay today, reach out to Brian Wise. We've got that information for you on your screen.
This morning, investigators piecing together the events leading up to an intruder breaching the secure perimeter of Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. The FBI identifying the suspect as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin of North Carolina. He was shot shortly after 1 a.m. yesterday after bringing a canister of gasoline and brandished a gun in front of security personnel.
He was ordered to drop those 2 pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the 2 Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat.
President Trump and First Lady Melania were at the White House when the shooting happened. Martin had been reported missing by his family on Saturday. He died at the scene.
Our evidence response team is processing the scene, collecting evidence, and we'll continue to work the scene for as long as it takes.
Law enforcement later seen at a property associated with Martin in Cameron, North Carolina. A cousin of the suspect telling our North Carolina station WTVD that the family generally supports Trump, but that the suspect's feelings were unclear. That cousin also saying he was quiet and inexperienced with guns. Now, FBI and Secret Service trying to figure out what Martin was planning and why.
If you live in the area of the shooting, please check your exterior cameras for last night, early this morning. If you see anything, please contact us.
President Trump has been the target of 2 assassination attempts since running for office in 2024, with his Secret Service protection coming under intense scrutiny after a would-be assassin's bullet clipped his ear at a Pennsylvania rally.
And just last week, police arrested a man they say was racing towards the Capitol with a shotgun who allegedly claimed he wanted to talk to members of Congress. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And President Trump has announced he is increasing the global tariffs to 15%. He made the announcement on Truth Social Saturday. He originally proposed 10% global tariffs on Friday after the Supreme Court ruled that his sweeping tariffs violated federal law. He enacted the new tariffs under a trade law. However, those can only be in place for 150 days unless Congress were to vote to extend them. Meanwhile, Trump called Justice Brett Kavanaugh his new hero in a separate Truth Social post on Saturday. Kavanaugh sided with Trump in Friday's ruling. Trump has railed against 2 of his appointees, Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch, who ruled against him.
We want them to understand that these deals are going to be good deals. We expect to stand by them. We expect our partners to stand by them. And I haven't heard anyone yet come to me and say the deal's off. They want to see how this plays out. I'm in active conversation with them on it.
Throughout the remainder of our day, it'll be rather windy out there. Some of those forecasted wind gusts could be in those upper 20s to maybe even those low 30s as well. And this morning we did have that cold weather advisory because of just cold temperatures, but also having those winds mixed in those feels like temperatures and possibly some places in those single digits. And really just as we head throughout today, just another windy day, just like we saw yesterday, finally coming down, or at least coming down at least a little bit as we head into those overnight hours. But in terms of actual weather throughout the remainder of our day, thankfully featuring a whole lot of that sunshine. But actual temperature-wise, not that warm, especially comparative to last week. High temperature only in those mid to upper 40s. So you'll definitely still need to make sure you've got a jacket on, at least for the remainder of the day, especially after that sun does go down. Stepping out the door tomorrow morning, though, it'll be even colder, at least temperature-wise, because we'll have calmer winds and a clear sky. So temperature right around those mid to even those low 20s in some select spots. But thankfully, tomorrow also going to be a dry day out there. But as we start to head throughout the week, starting to see an increase in cloud coverage, along with an increase in temperature. By the time we make it to Wednesday, high temperature right around 67 degrees. But then heading into Thursday and Friday, rain chances start to increase as well as a front looks to move on through. Could start to see some showers in the late hours of our Thursday, possibly some showers on Friday, and possibly even a storm or two as well. We'll just have to wait and see. But until then, things look to finally clear up heading into the weekend.
United.
Urban Meyer built college football dynasties.
Football is a way of life.
Mark Ingram II ran his way to a Heisman.
I'm gonna do the rest of the show with this thing.
Rob Stone calls it like he sees it. This is the Triple Option, where legends tackle the biggest headlines in college football and the NFL with guests who don't hold back.
You're not winning with that owner.
Wow. It's football talk that hits harder than game day. The Triple Option, presented by Wendy's, wherever you get your podcasts.